You pick up a mop at 5:30 a.m., the way you've picked up a mop every weekday for the last 6 years, and drag it down the corridor outside C block while the morning count is still being called. 18 years for armed robbery and conspiracy, which the prosecutor called organized crime, and you called a Tuesday. The mop smells like bleach and floor wax and something underneath both of those that never fully comes out. You don't think about it anymore. Custodial is the lowest rung on the job board at Hayward Correctional, and everyone knows it. You get paid 43 cents an hour. You work a 6-hour shift, and if you miss a block without a documented reason, you lose the job and go back to sitting in your cell for 23 hours a day. Most people would rather mop, you among them. The jobs at Hayward get posted on a corkboard outside the program office every Monday at 8 a.m. They're gone in under 10 minutes, not because there's a rush of applicants. Because there are maybe 30 slots for 900 men, and the men who already have them don't give them up unless something forces the issue. Kitchen is the first place most people try to get. It runs 3 shifts: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You report to a room the size of a warehouse with stainless steel counters bolted to the floor and fluorescent tubes that hum at a frequency that gets inside your ears by hour 2. The work is repetitive. You portion trays, you move trays, you scrape trays, you stack trays. On good days, the sergeant in charge lets the kitchen crew eat 15 minutes before the general population, which means the food is hot. That's the entire benefit. Hot food. You learn to value it. Laundry sits one step above kitchen on no official list, but everyone treats it that way. The room runs hot all year, which is miserable in summer, and the only warm place in the facility come January. You feed sheets and jumpsuits and towels into industrial machines the size of compact cars, and you pull them out, and you fold them, and you load them onto carts. The machines are loud enough that you can't hear a conversation at normal volume. Most of the men in laundry don't bother talking. They communicate in nods. After a month, you find this restful. There's a detail called grounds. 2 men, sometimes 3, cleared for outdoor movement under escort. You cut grass along the perimeter fence line with an electric trimmer. You rake gravel in the staff parking area. You collect whatever blew in overnight. The sky is the same sky it's always been. This sounds like nothing. After years of looking at a ceiling, it is not nothing. Library assistant is a different kind of job. You shelve books, you check them out through a paper ledger system, you repair covers with a roll of brown tape that's kept in a locked drawer. The room holds maybe 400 volumes, mostly donations, which means the collection is whatever somebody's relative decided to get rid of. Self-help from the 90s, legal thrillers, one complete set of encyclopedias from 1987. Men come in and sit at the 2 tables and read for as long as they're allowed, which is 45 minutes per visit. You stamp the time card. You say nothing. You shelve. It is, if you're being honest with yourself, the closest thing to a peaceful afternoon you found inside Hayward. Barber is one of the harder jobs to get and one of the harder ones to keep. You train on a practice head for 60 hours before they let you near a real person. The equipment is stored in a locked cabinet and checked out and checked back in after every shift. 4 pairs of clippers, 2 sets of shears, a straight razor that you are not, under any circumstances, permitted to use without a supervising officer present. You cut hair in a room off the intake corridor for 2 hours on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. You get tipped in commissary items, which is technically against the rules and which everyone ignores. A bag of chips, a packet of instant soup, sometimes a book of stamps. You stopped being precious about the rules around year 4. Education tutor is a civilian-facing job, meaning you interact with outside staff. You sit across from a desk from a program coordinator who comes in 3 days a week from a community college 20 miles away, and you help other inmates with GED preparation. You do basic maths on a whiteboard that's bolted to the wall. You read passages aloud and ask comprehension questions. If you're good at this, and some men genuinely are, the coordinator puts in a positive report and it goes in your file. What you do with a positive file at Hayward is a question nobody has a clean answer to. You do it anyway. There's something in explaining long division to a man who's never understood it that sits differently than mopping does. Maintenance is a tiered system. The lowest level is light repairs, replacing a light bulb, unclogging a drain, fixing a hinge. You go out in pairs with an officer escort and a toolkit that's been pre-approved and logged. Every tool goes back in the bag at the end of the job and gets counted. If the count is off, the job stops and everyone stands still until it resolves. You lose count of how many times you've stood still in a corridor at 2 p.m. waiting for a screwdriver to turn up. Always turns up. Always in somebody's back pocket who forgot. You stop being annoyed by it around year 3. It's just something that happens. The highest level of maintenance is plumbing and electrical, and those men have trades qualifications that they brought in with them or earned in here through a program that runs out of C block twice a year. They carry a different color lanyard. They go places in the facility you've never seen. Mechanical rooms, roof access. The generator shed behind the staff building, you have no idea what those rooms look like. Some part of you is curious about that. Most of you doesn't care. Medical orderly is the job that sounds worst to people on the outside and best to people on the inside. You work alongside the nursing staff in the medical unit, which is a separate wing off the main corridor with actual privacy, actual quiet, and actual chairs with cushions. You take temperatures. You wheel men between the examination room and the waiting area. You stock supply shelves. You are not allowed to administer anything, dispense anything, or make any call that belongs to the nursing staff. You understand this, and you don't push it. The men who push it lose the job the same week. But you're in a room that doesn't smell like bleach and floor wax, and there are windows in the medical unit, real windows with a view of the parking lot and the tree line beyond it. And on a clear afternoon, you can watch the light change through those windows for a full hour, and nobody says a word about it. Chaplain's assistant is the last one most people think of, and the one that runs deepest inside certain men. You set up chairs before services, you take them down after, you distribute printed materials, you sit at the back of the room during the session, and keep an informal count of who's there. The chaplain, a quiet man named Reyes, who drives in from 2 counties over, knows your name and uses it when he talks to you. Most staff use your number. Reyes uses your name. You notice this every time, and you try not to make too much of it. The jobs change you in ways that are hard to put a number on. You came into Hayward as a man who'd spent his working life moving fast and deciding quickly, and now you spend your working life folding towels or shelving books or mopping tile, and somewhere along the way the speed left you and you don't miss it the way you thought you would. You still have 9 years left on the sentence. The corkboard goes up Monday at 8 a.m. You'll be standing outside the program office at 7:55. The library job is opening up next week, and you've already put your name in with the officer who runs the list. You've mopped enough floors.